welcome to Bonita's Kitchen, and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be showing you how to make today is this delicious dessert that a friend of mine from St. John's, Newfoundland showed me how to make. And actually I had it at her place just a little while ago. She wasn't quite sure what the name of the dessert was, but she knew it was Flaky dessert and it was something else. So I said to her, do you mind if I make it on Bonita's Kitchen? And I'm going to call it Pat's Flaky Dessert. So let's get started and showing you the ingredients and how to make it. So I'm going to talk about a little few of the ingredients that we'll be using in this Pat's Flaky Dessert. Soda crackers, and I'm using the unsalted, but if you like the salted kind, you can use that. I'm using vanilla pudding. We're going to be using whipped cream. Then I'm going to be making this delicious berry sauce that goes over the top once it's all set. So let's get started on making the pudding. Okay, so what we're going to be doing first is making the instant vanilla pudding. So you're just going to open 2 packages, and the reason why we're using instant, we don't need to be boiling it and then letting it cool. We'll just make it with following the ingredients that's on your package, which is just to add milk. I think it's like 2 cups per package, but you could use less if you don't want to use that. And then we're going to be just whipping this together and putting it aside to cool in the fridge while we're making the rest. So just start adding, I'm using 2% milk, but you can use oat milk. I'm just going to use half of it first to start whipping it. And I'm just going to be using an hand spatula. You could also use your electric blender, but this instant pudding comes together pretty quick here. Okay, so you're just going to gradually add in your milk and whip it together. So this instant pudding, like I was saying, you put it in the fridge after, because next I'm going to be doing the whipped cream. And that's pretty all simple. Everybody knows how to make instant pudding and whipped cream. But the glory in the recipe is putting it all together and letting you see the steps. This is a very delicious dessert, and one you can have any time of the year, of course. Okay, so that's it for that. So after you finish making your vanilla pudding, put it in the fridge to keep cool. Now I got a bowl that I had kept in the fridge and kept cold to make my whipped cream, and use about 250 mils at a time when you're making whipped cream. It just gives you it's not so much that you're making all at once. So what I'm going to do now is blend this together, and I'm going to show you the other ingredient that we're going to be putting into it. Okay, so that's our whipped cream done. And so what I'm going to be doing now, as you see, is nice and fluffy. I'm going to be putting in a tablespoonful of powdered sugar. And that's your icing sugar, confectionery sugar. So mix that around, and that just gives that little tiny sweet tart to it. Not much, just a tinge. Okay, so then what I'm going to do now, as a play on words, I'm going to put this in the fridge with the pudding and let it cool for a bit. Okay, so that's a vanilla pudding made and our whipped cream with the sugar in it. So what I'm going to be using now is seasonal berries, of course. I got blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, I got some cranberries in there, and partridge berries. And basically this is going to be the sauce that's going to go over the top of your dessert. You don't necessarily need to use these berries. You can buy a pack of frozen berries in your grocery store with your already assembled berries in there. You could use that, or if you wanted to use fruit, whatever you would like for your topping. Now before I get started on this dessert, when you make it, needs to be a couple of days in advance, because you need it all to set together, or even one day if you can't wait. But if you can make it a couple of days before you're planning on serving it, that would be perfect. But this here also could be made in advance, because you don't put it over it hot, you put it over it cold. So now let's get started putting this into the saucepan. Okay, so this is about 2 cups of mixed berries, and like I was saying, this is the seasonal berries that we actually picked last year, which we can't wait until the season starts again. 1 cup of water, don't have to be cold. We're going to be using 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and right at the same time you're going to put in 1 tablespoonful of cornstarch. Just plop it all in there together and then stir it around and let it start simmering on low until it all starts to combine. Okay, so that's pretty good there now. We got it all into the pot and getting nice, starting to simmer, and then after, when it's to the point where I'm going to stop the cooking, I'll add in some vanilla. So basically, like I was saying, this is to be done in advance because you're not going to serve it hot. Also, you could use this berry sauce for any dessert that you got, because I keep a bottle on hand all the time, and if I'm going to have desserts of any sort, you can put this sauce over it. So what we'll do, we'll let this start boiling and getting this all condensed, and I'll bring out my whipped cream and my vanilla pudding and start layering the dessert. So what I'm going to be using is a square clear pan. You could use any size you want depending on how much you want to make. This is all I'm going to show you today. So we're just going to take a layer of the soda crackers and put down in the bottom of this pan. So pretty much 2 sleeves would be more than enough for this, and it don't have to be fancily put on your plate, so just layered. So what we're going to put there next is a layer of the vanilla pudding. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just dollop some vanilla pudding down on top of the crackers like this. Doesn't matter if your crackers is moving around, and you're just going to spread it out over the top of the crackers like this. Don't be afraid to get in there. Okay, so that's all we need to do here. So now we'll bring in the whipped cream. We're going to put a layer of the whipped cream, put some over the plate and over the bowl, like this, and just do the same thing with that. Spread it out nicely. Don't have to be fair or perfect, because trust me, when you cut into this dessert, it's going to be perfect, like without even a joke. It's so tasty. So that's that. And next we'll start with our crackers. So you're just going to do the same again. You're going to layer the crackers. Now again, I got unsalted crackers. If you like that sweet and salty, you could use the salted crackers. But I think this would make a perfect dessert the way it is, because you don't want to have too much salt in anything. And then you do the layer of vanilla pudding. So as you can see, the soda crackers is your flaky. Even though when this dessert is set after a day or two, it breaks open. You'll see the flakiness. It's not crispy, it's all tender, and it all blends together nice. It looks like our sauce, our berry sauce, is done. So I'm going to show you what the next step of that is. So as you can see, it's on a nice galloping roll there. It's not thick. It's starting to condense nice together. You don't need it to be thick. You just need it to be like a sauce. I'm going to put in there about a teaspoonful of vanilla. I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to let it cool. And this is all you need to do. And that's what it looks like. So back to Pat's Flaky Dessert and layering the ingredients. So now we're going to be doing another layer of the whipped cream. So this was 250 mils of whipped cream that I put together. I had a large container. I didn't whip it all. If you're making a bigger pan of dessert, because like I said, this is a dessert that you will make for company or your family, but you'll find yourself eating a little bit more than you would normally eat, because it's not sweet. It's very, very tasty, especially for, well, any time of the year, but I think summertime, when you're looking for that little special treat, Okay, so that's the next layer. So what we're going to do again is put the crackers along and layer it, and then we'll repeat that again, and then this dessert is complete. Okay, I'm all about sharing anyone's recipe with you, because if I taste something that I think it's worthy of showing somebody, I want to share that, because it shouldn't be a well-hidden secret. It should be shared with everybody so that everybody can get to enjoy it. This could very well be a traditional Newfoundland recipe. I don't know. Pat said that she's a Newfoundlander, lived there all of her life, and she said she'd been making it pretty much all of her married life. So again, it could be a traditional Newfoundland recipe, or it could be a recipe that came out of a magazine. But whichever way, I'm just going to show you what it's like, and then after, take up a nice helping to show you with that beautiful berry sauce over it. So just continue doing that until it's all put on there. Okay, so that was the last step of spreading out the whipped cream. So I'm just going to make a few little bumps in the top. And then I'm going to just take some more of this icing sugar, or powdered confectionery sugar, and just sprinkle over the top. So pretty much that's it. You take this now and put it in your fridge. Keep it there for, again, you could do it one day, but to get everything all together, 2 days would be great, and then you can serve it on that day. So luckily for us that I made one in advance of the sauce and the dessert, Pat's Flaky dessert. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I got the one we just made put into the fridge to cool. I got the one that I made in advance. So this one was made 2 days ago, and the sauce was made 2 days ago. So basically what you can do, as you can see, this is on hand for any time. Make your sauce, get yourself a nice clean mason jar that have already been sterilized, and then pour it on into, bottle it, then you got your sauce that you're going to have for any time of the day or week. So what I'm going to do now is take up a nice helping of this, put over the sauce, and show you what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut into this and take out a nice chunk. I'm using a round pan here because I only had the one square one there. So I'm going to scoop up. The first one may not be perfect because you know what it's like for scooping anything out. So I'm going to bring you in closer so you can look at it. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. You probably might see more of the whipped cream there. I'm going to pour this right on into there. As you can see, it's got layers, but I'll show you that as well. I'm going to pour over some sauce over the top. As you can see, look, isn't that delicious? So as you can see the layers of the whipped cream, the crackers, and the pudding, and of course while you're eating it you will taste those different flavors. So I'm going to put this to the side and have a nice taste of this Pat's Flaky dessert. Okay, I'm going to have a little taste of this. Of course, I know your mouth is probably watering here now because you're saying, I can't wait to make this dessert. All of the flavors and the berry sauce blends together really nice. I know that I'm the one showing you this dessert and you're going to say, well, you like it anyway, but please make this dessert. You will make it your favorite Pat's Flaky dessert. So this is how easy it is to make Pat's Flaky dessert. I hope you found this recipe for this dessert helpful for you today. And for more dessert or meal ideas, you want to visit me on www.bonitaskitchen.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel up at the top right hand corner. Hit the link, it will prompt you to what you need to do. You can also visit me on my Facebook page, and again, to see more delicious recipes like this. Bonita's Kitchen is meant to be a teaching tool for those of you that want to know how to make delicious meals, desserts, traditional Newfoundland and traditional Newfoundland. So from my kitchen to yours, thank you for joining us, and you have a wonderful day.